On a stormy night, unfortunate travelers rushed into an abandoned mansion in the woods to take shelter. But even worse than the relentless rain, they in fact accidentally entered the hunting ground of a bloodthirsty killer. This is for sure AI, right? I could be just translation.
Could be translation.
Terrorscape is a team-based horror game. Take on the roles of the survivors, escape and hide from the killer, or instead, be the killer and hunt down your prey. During the game, the survivors will hide out of sight of the killer, utilize items found to raise their chance of survival, and ultimately try to escape from the nightmare. A lot of periods for things that I think should be exclamation points here. On the other side, the killer will hunt the survivors with unforgiving abilities. When the killer encounters the survivors, a battle of life and death begins. There's an exclamation point there. So, today on the board, boys.
I didn't know you were done.
Well, that was where it ends. Oh, hey, I can give you one more if you want, though.
Okay.
With various killers and survivors, each matchup is a new experience. Every character has their own skills, playstyles, and miniatures. Killers, enjoy your hunt. Survivors, play smart and outplay your opponent.
Today on the board, boys.
Terrorscape.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Board Boys Podcast, Season 17, Episode 7. Tonight on the podcast, Terrorscape by Ice Games. This is your board boy, Spooktacular Rob.
That was for Rob.
We told Joe he wouldn't need a mic for us to hear him.
This is your boy, I guess with the woo, we'll say Werewolf TK.
This is your boy. The silver dagger was not enough, Jake.
And this is your boy, Boinker McDoinker, a.k.a. Cam, a.k.a. Monster Mash.
Do the mash.
He did the Monster Mash.
Do the mash.
It was a graveyard smash.
All right, any more and I think we get hit with copyright.
I think Bobby Boris Pickett is deceased.
Is that in the public domain now?
I think it probably is public domain. Like, I think the Monster Mash is probably public domain, right?
I think so.
If this episode gets reposted a year later, welcome everybody, because it got took down, and then we eventually found a way to get back on.
We never once got smacking the nugs on copyright until I used an Aerosmith song.
So it's Aerosmith.
Yeah, those Aerosmith guys. Steven Tyler's all up in our business.
Are you saying the very obscure reggae from 1987 didn't get us?
No,
copyrighted?
But also, I've used other famous bands. I'm sure I've used other very famous songs.
If any of our listeners can tell me at what point in the podcast Cam's intros switched from being funny, goofy stuff to grammar lessons, please let me know.
It was a couple years ago.
I believe it was when Heart Medicine and Dad Cam came into, and then he was like, I got a kid, I got to fix my grammar.
I got to take this more seriously.
Yeah.
Okay. I was just curious because the commentary on the wordings and the spellings and all the things, it gets me every time.
I could go back to so here's the thing. There's not a lot I can do with the Terrorscape prologue. No offense, Terrorscape. Great game, not the awesomest prologue.
Oh, spoilers.
You'll find out how the game was.
If you notice any background noise, we are live from Capital City Gaming Con here in the heart of Iowa. Des Moines, the Moines.
Which is the capital city of Iowa.
It is.
And this is the biggest, they're doing great. They're growing this thing every year by a lot.
Yeah, they are moving to a new location next year right by Cam's new house.
Yeah, my new house.
Right by the airport.
Knock on wood.
Out-of-state guests.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, any out-of-staters, you can fly in and go right to the Holiday Inn.
All the Louisiana boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They come.
Why haven't they been here yet?
I don't know. I mean, I came and visited them.
Exactly.
No
multiple
offense
times
to Iowa, but why would they come here?
In October?
I mean,
it's beautiful outside.
All you see is puffs of smoke from people you know, corn
that sounds
going
great.
everywhere.
Okay,
yeah,
corn maybe not so much.
It's just, or we can go to New Orleans and have a great time.
Yeah,
they're from Lafayette, right?
Except for it's Lafayette, which is not the same.
Okay,
it was fine. It was a good town.
Let me tell you guys something about Des Moines. This is why you go to Des Moines. Okay?
Is it for the food?
No.
Is it for the atmosphere?
Little Graziano sausage.
Yeah.
No. I'll tell you why you go to Des Moines. 2 reasons. 1, Des Moines River.
Like,
Did you have even one thing when you said 2 things?
No.
I believe the river that has the highest nitrites in the entire country.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Des Moines River.
Yeah.
You check on the nitrites.
Having a hard time, making
Iowa
that thing
is
fit to
cheap.
drink. Yeah.
That's a reason
Yeah.
to come to Des Moines.
Yeah.
Cheap.
It is. Cost of living here is pretty good.
Okay, so we got anything else?
Second reason,
Yeah.
Valley West Mall.
So for listeners,
There could be a Valley West Mall Terrorscape map.
yeah,
Probably.
yeah, it is basically an empty. I mean, it's essentially empty. It's not as bad as some of the other malls here, but
Yeah.
No. It's the second emptiest mall in Des Moines for sure. We have a mall called Southridge Mall that literally has no stores, but it's still open.
Yeah.
And I think it's just they keep it clean because somebody's just like desperate to sell it.
I believe people go and walk.
It's a mall walk mall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there are like the anchor stores are still there, but
So,
there's no inside stores.
If anybody wants to know Iowa, they're in their infinite wisdom. So they, I don't know, this was like probably 2018, 2017, whatever. They passed a tax credit for movies, right? You remember this?
Yeah.
And people started filming here. So they took a bunch of that mall and they turned it into like sound rooms, right? Like big, open place. They took a Yonkers and turned it into a movie studio. And then like 6 months later, they canceled the tax credit and all the movie places left and went to Louisiana. And now they have an empty mall with a bunch of, ripped out stuff and no one to come film at.
Way to go, government.
Here's something interesting. Do you know that there's a mall called the Park Fair Mall underneath?
You've told us this on an
Have I
episode
told you
before.
about it? Yeah, I didn't even know about it until like a year ago. And it's like a complete mall exists underneath like that crappy shopping center on 2nd and Euclid. Yeah. And yeah, there used to be like an arcade in there and like restaurants and stuff. And it's a cool place, but now it's just all like staffing businesses and like places where you go to like do therapy and stuff like that.
So I would tell you, I have friends that kind of work at U.S. Bank. There's a U.S. Bank right there. It is the most robbed U.S. bank in the city. So it's right by that mall.
Not surprised.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Looking forward to getting out of the northeast-ish side of Des Moines.
Yeah.
I like watching videos sometimes of like these defunct places that just died and like are now empty, but like oddly still kind of kept up nice.
2016 Olympics and 2015 World Cup Brazil. Look up some of those arenas.
That's crazy.
They are completely disarray.
Yeah, it's wild. Or like Greece. Didn't Greece like go bankrupt hosting the Olympics?
I think Greece was already bankrupt, and then they went double bankrupt hosting the Olympics.
I think most countries lose money when they host those Olympic events.
When's the last time you paid attention to the Olympics?
I always pay attention to Olympics.
Yeah, Olympics
I
are
really
tight.
enjoy it both times, winter and
Okay.
summer.
Which Olympics are
Never.
cooler? What do you guys think?
I
I like
have,
summer better.
I have lost complete interest in the Olympics.
I think I like the winter ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the really weird events once in a while.
I saw there is a curling game coming, board game.
Oh, nice.
You're like a
I know-
curling team.
I know there has been a curling game previously.
Okay.
I don't know if it was like a dexterity game or what, but
All right. Well, to kick off this very special Capital City Game Con Halloween October episode of the Board Boys podcast, we have a very special guest, my favorite board game designer for life.
Sorry, Italian bros, you've been bumped.
Yeah, sorry. No more Tassini. No more Stefan Feld.
Luciani.
No more Luciani. It's Alex from Spielcraft Games.
Oh, please.
So, Spielcraft Games is about to be a 3-game company, right?
About to be, yeah.
About to be a 3-game company. So, the main thing we want to talk about tonight, though, is Spielcraft has a active game found pledge. What do you call it? An active game found campaign for, it's a reprint of Cretaceous Rails and the expansion, right?
Yep.
So tell us about that. Tell us what's going on.
Well, it's a reprint for Cretaceous Rails, which came out. It was shipped to backers in May of this year. And we had a pretty small Kickstarter campaign, so only 1,500 copies got made, and they got sold out pretty fast. We also have added a second expansion into the mix. So the first expansion, Cretaceous Skies, is available again. And available for the first time is Cretaceous Seas,
Yeah.
where we're, of course, including plesiosaurs.
So I just want to say before I ask this question, I love Cretaceous Rails. It's so fun. Anybody who gets a chance, to play it. And if you want to go back it, 100% do that. But it's a cool like track building game that shares some DNA with the classic track builders, but it's built off of two really cool systems, I think. One being that the action selection is kind of a worker placement thing where you have a grid of squares and you like place a worker on where two squares intersect and you get both those actions. And then the second thing is, in classic Concordia style, the points are on the cards. So there's a ton of endgame scoring on the cards you build in the game, and you're building a tableau, and the higher up you build the cards, the better you score on them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So super fun, pick up and deliver kind of track building game with really neat worker placement and scoring mechanisms. So go check this out. Cretaceous Seas, though, what's that all about? How does that change the game?
So Cretaceous Seas has two modules that can be used together or separately. One of the modules is the plesiosaur module, where some of the hexes on the jungle are replaced with sea hexes. And then every round, some of those hexes have a plesiosaur breach on them. And the more plesiosaurs you're adjacent to, the more modified actions you're going to get. Because every round, one of the actions is going to be selected as the modifiable action. And when you take that action, there's a little card that's displayed for everyone. And you look at the number of plesiosaurs that you're adjacent to when you take that action. And then you get a couple of little bonuses depending on how many plesiosaurs you're adjacent to. The second module is the blueprints module, which is just blueprint cards that you put in your resort at the beginning of the game. And as you build resort cards on top of those blueprints, you get the option to pay costs to take little special bonus actions.
Cool. You know what I really appreciate about Cretaceous Seas is that unlike every other dinosaur game ever, you guys waited till expansion 2 to have it be about water dinosaurs.
Well, we knew that plesiosaurs were going to be in the game eventually, but the truth is we had started developing the plesiosaurs module before the first Kickstarter, and it just wasn't good enough by the time that we ran that first Kickstarter, so we excluded it from the first campaign to give us a couple of extra years to develop it into something that meets our standard of excellence.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm just telling you, so, we rate our games on a 1 to 3 scale. 100% of Spielcraft Games are a 100 or a 3 out of 3 for me. So
3 boings.
3 boings. And so he has not missed yet. And maybe that's like a good segue because I got a chance to play test your upcoming game, Primacy, today. And I got to say, like, be on the lookout for this one. It's super fun. It kind of takes things into, like, this is interesting because your first game for Glory, 1v1 gladiator school multi-arena combat game with built-in taunts. Game 2, building railroads to pick up dinosaurs on your railroad cards and bring them back to either use them to build attractions or get points. And then the third one, Cyberpunk 4X, which, first of all, the game's super fun, but it's like I was expecting something weird.
Well, I think I'm weird, so to expect something weird is pretty reasonable. I don't think anything I create will not be weird at all. But I guess I have a very eclectic, diverse tastes in board games, and I'm really just making board games that I want to play, which maybe has been a commercial failure in a sense, because I'm not really following up a successful game with another game that would appeal to the same audience. And I've often thought about whether that would be a much better business decision, but at the end of the day, I'm just making the games that I want to play the most.
Well, Rob's favorite designer, Vladimir Suchi, I think follows I think you're doing the same thing as him. It's like, I'm never going to rest on like a gaming design convention like Uwe Rosenberg's, all his games are, but like doing different stuff is cool, in my opinion. So Primacy, what I thought was super neat is it's like half the game is like 4X action selection on a rondelle, where you get like all the actions don't cost very much to do and you get tons of stuff. And so you're kind of like constantly splashing like all this stuff, but like you get a bunch of one thing and your enemies get a bunch of another thing. And it's like, who can utilize stuff the best? But then when you clash up for combat, it's got like a Rising Sun style combat system where you're assigning all of your power behind a screen to 3 different venues of combat that all give you like a different reward. So you get like you can boost your propaganda level with one, so you can like when you're out there like gaining loyalty from the different people of the town. What's the city called?
It's called, well, it might be called New Carthage.
New Carthage. There we go. So you can increase your ability to reach people. You can also like loot, like you do like where you can get like a point and like a reward, and then you can also go for like conquest of the area. But what's cool about this, because Rising Sun is like a very simple, sleek card-based thing or coin-based thing where you see how many coins people have and it's like a mind game. This one, you actually get to upgrade your weaponry, so you can go in and like you can like go into like fighting more than other people and actually try to make a game based on like your attack power. You can make a game based on like how much stuff you put on the board. But finally, once again, points are on the card. So there's a thing from Cretaceous Rails. You're collecting endgame scoring cards that only you get to score. And yeah, that's cool too, man. I'm super excited for this one.
Hey, Alex, I got a question for you. So most of our listeners are probably people who have only been on the other side of a crowdfunding. So whether we're finding stuff and we're backing it, can you talk a little bit about the process as a designer, getting a game found up and talking to the people about that, the interaction you have with the people that do back games, just anything about that experience from the other side?
All right. Well, this GameFound campaign is my fourth crowdfunding campaign. My first one on GameFound. The first three were on Kickstarter, and they've all been a little bit different because I've kind of just been learning things as I go about how to approach them. But a lot of it is about communicating with content creators like you guys and just trying to get in front of your audiences just to get the word out about the games, and also give podcasters and YouTube channels and things a chance to play the games so that they can tell their audience about them. And I try to go to conventions and play games with people personally as well, but every time I do it, it's just a little bit different. And of course, I'm also just working with an artist to kind of make the page itself look as good as possible, just to make it enticing. And I think every crowdfunding campaign page I've had is better than the last one in terms of the way it looks. Part of that is just spending more money on it, to be honest, because it just costs a lot of money to get good art. And I don't know if I'm rambling at this point.
No. What's funny is like, I think when I started doing this podcast 9 years ago, my taste in games, like I didn't care at all about how a game looked. And I think one thing that like reviewing tons and tons and tons of games has taught me is that like art and theme actually do add a lot of enjoyment to like the game you're playing. And like that's something really cool about Cretaceous Rails and For Glory is they both have like they're different, very different art styles, but like they both have really likable art, like the all the picture, like the cards and pictures and stuff and the builds of like the figurines in Cretaceous Rails are awesome. And of course the gladiator cards where they're like stabbing each other and like groaning in agony or like it's just fun, you feel like you're there.
Yeah, I have mixed feelings about art and games. Like, I'm perfectly comfortable playing a game that's just handwritten on note cards with no art whatsoever. And actually, with all the playtesting that I do, that's often how I play games. But then when there is that art to really immerse you into the theme, it does make it better.
And that's a big point of interest for a lot of people. I mean, seeing the art on some of the pages, especially, if somebody's stumbling across your crowdsourcing page, I mean, that's probably one of the first things that's going to bring people into it too. So yeah, and it just I guess opens to a wider group, and that's obviously something that all game designers are trying to accomplish.
Was Primacy the game you were playing at Gen Con when I saw you there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was playtesting Primacy, and then my wife was at the table next door. I don't know, next door. There were no doors.
Right.
At the next table playing Cretaceous Rails.
Okay. Yeah, cool. Well, why don't you tell us a little bit about the upcoming campaign and where people can find it? Any details you've got for us?
Well, the Cretaceous Rails GameFound campaign is going on right now.
Oh.
And you can find that on GameFound.
We'll go this out. It will still be going.
It'll still be going on when this airs.
So when you come back, maybe we'll just say like, and don't put it. So
okay.
You know when it ends?
It ends November 11th.
You want to?
Yeah. Yeah, the campaign is going on right now, and it ends November 11th.
That was my 41st birthday. Just so if anybody wants to send me a cake with 41 candles on it, I would love that.
You're going to burn down your rental before you get to your new house?
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
That's the goal.
Excellent. Well, thanks, Alex, for coming on the podcast and telling us all about that stuff. I'm curious to check out some more Cretaceous Rails, and 4X isn't really my forte, but I'll play it if Cam plays it with me.
It's sick. It's cool.
You like it? All right.
Yeah, and I'm going to back it for sure. So.
All right. Well, there we go.
Well, thank you.
Really quick, can you get just Cretaceous Seas by itself in the game pound? Okay, cool. Awesome.
Yep.
I'd buy a new copy of the game too, just to get.
You heard it from Cam, everybody.
Well, you said you're not a fan of 4X, and I don't want to pressure you, but it plays more like a Euro than a 4X game. And that's part of the design goal. And I think that it'll attract a lot of people who don't typically like 4X games. One of the reasons is that battling is actually good. There aren't any losers in battle.
Okay.
You use battle to gain resources and to split resources with your opponent, essentially.
Cool. I shouldn't say I don't like, it's not my favorite genre, TI4, but I do.
You had fun last time.
I have fun with the people, you know?
And you know what? It's actually more of an area control,
but I
like action selection game.
Yeah, but I really like Anunnaki, which I think is kind of like a 4X, but it's more a Euro-y 4X. So, all right.
Yeah, bro, it's a rondel, and it's got a lot of your whole player board is just tracks.
Okay, I'm in. I lied. I heard rondel and tracks. If I can go up tracks and win the game, that's all I need to know.
You can go up tracks and win the game.
Perfect. Did you know my favorite track, Cam?
The tracks in the Voynich puzzle?
The score track.
The score track.
High five. We're going to kind of have a wonky episode tonight. We have a game to talk about, Terrorscape, but I also want to talk about one other spooky game. We didn't get a chance to give it maybe its full treatment. Jakey Jake did not get a chance to play it.
I did not.
But I played it a bunch, and I got Tim and Cam to play it. So we're going to talk about Spooktacular for a little bit here. As a little mini review.
Spooktacular! Ha 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 ha. Hey, should I try to be funny with the back of this box?
Go for it.
All right. So I'm not going to do the grammar. I'm just going to be funny on this, okay?
You guys can tell us, camera 1 or camera 2?
Only hilarious. Okay. Player beware. You do the scare. Become one of 20 original movie monsters that have escaped the silver screen. Ugh! Earn points as you spook and devour guests. Terrorize the theater with your own horrific powers. Horrific! When the final credits roll, only the most spooktacular monster will emerge victorious. Today on the board, boys.
Spooktacular!
Cam, that was a 10 out of 10.
That was it? 4 boings.
4
okay,
boings.
well, I guess I'll do it like that from now on.
Forest of Boing's intros.
Spooktacular.
Thanks for helping me get my groove back, guys.
No problem. It's how Cam got his groove back. Spooktacular came out in 2025. It is from D. Brad Talton Jr. from Level 99 Games. The artist is Javier Roa Gonzalez. And Spooktacular came out in 2025. It is a riveting board game of cinematic horror.
I'd say so.
You become the monster.
It was fun. Hey, can I just say something? I say it every time.
Yes.
D. Brad Talton. You gotta change your name to T. Brad Dalton.
I'll tell him that next time I see him.
Yeah. Talton doesn't make sense to me.
I played games with him at Gen Con.
Oh, yeah? Is he cool?
Yeah, he's a cool dude.
All right, T. Brad.
So change
T-Brad.
change your last name. Like
no, well, it's D. Brad. T. Brad sounds because it kind of sounds like T. Bird, you know? T. Bird Dalton.
So it's 1 to 5 players, best at 4 or 5, ages 12 plus. The playing time is about 45 minutes. Weight is 2.13 out of 5. It is currently 7.7 ranking on Board Game Geek. That is good for 4,245. Let's just jump right into it. In Spooktacular, there's 20 monsters in the box. They all play completely differently. You need to know about 4 different keywords and you can play this game. You need to know what moving is. Have you ever moved in a board game?
You already know.
Done. Okay. You need to know how to add people to the board. You generally add them to the space you're in, unless it says otherwise. You need to know what spook is. Spook means is you go boo and all the patrons on the board run out a different door, one guy per door, and you get a point for each of those guys. And then there's Devour. Devour is take a guy off the board and munch him. Once you munch a whole set of these meeples, you can turn them in for a ticket. The game goes until someone gets to 50 points or all the tickets are gone. You play to the end of the round, you add up your secret ticket points, and the spookiest monster wins. Make sense? And the board
Makes sense to me.
The board is basically big old movie theater with a bunch of doorways, a bunch of meeples scattered all over it that you're trying to eat up and spook, and a bunch of really cool wooden monster meeples that go with your monster. And then there's also like everyone's got a really nice, cool looking player board that tells you exactly, everyone has the same 5-card starting deck. And then everyone has like some bonus cards they put in, and some monsters have special pieces on top of that. And then on each player's board, it lists your special ability. It lists all the information you would need, and it lists your turn, or like how you take a turn. And between Tim's guy and my guy, I might do 5 steps on my turn. Tim might do 3 steps on his turn, and they're different. You may draw and play more cards than somebody else. You may put a token on the board that nobody else has. The possibilities are endless.
The possibilities are greater than 19.
That's true. So anyway, I originally backed this. I'm not a huge level 99 person with a lot of their games. I really like the one about the magicians, the Wizard Academy, the Harry Potter thing. I don't know. Campbell can't... You know this game.
The Harry Potter Wizarding
Yeah.
Academy? Did we play that together?
Yeah.
Remind me what you do in that one.
It's super complicated.
What you do in the Harry Potter Wizard... Oh, sorry. It's not a Harry Potter game. You're talking about Argent.
Yes, Argent the Consortium.
Argent the Consortium. And they also do Millennium Blades.
Yes, they do.
And I like both of those games. I like the idea of Millennium Blades, but Argent, I don't know. They're both very unique.
Yeah.
In terms of their design, in terms of the way they play.
Yeah.
They're almost like, you know how they say that, like, you know, octopuses are like a totally like different type of organism than like any other, like their DNA is like completely different than like most creatures on Earth. That's how I feel about those games.
Yeah,
like,
man.
They're like board games that evolved along a different set of standards than the rest of board gaming.
So I would say this box I bought is from Kickstarter. This game is in retail. The Kickstarter box is exactly the same as the retail box. So everything we played tonight was pretty much stock, and the game was like $50, which I feel like is pretty good value. And it just got me because, I mean, if you guys know me, I'm a huge movie guy. I like horror movies, and I love asymmetric powers. So my initial thoughts were that. I was like, this is something that seems right up my alley.
And each monster, like the player aid is like, it's the monster from a movie specifically.
Yeah, they parody a lot of monsters.
Well,
for
but
sure.
like your guy
or,
was
or
like
a trope, you know?
the chef from something 5.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And like all the movies are like, yes, they're actual movie monsters, you know, in quotation marks. But you'll see a monster and you'll be like I'm looking at the one right here, and there's like these like little underground dweller people. That's like Chud, right? And there's the telephone, like there's the classic pick up the phone kind of, you know.
There's the Lost Boys. You can be the Lost Boys. That's Lost Boys, right?
Those look like werewolves.
Right, but like it's like you play as like 4 of them all as like one group, right? And
I
you
think
like
so,
go and
yeah.
terrorize people as the Lost, except it's the werewolf version of the Lost
The werewolf
Boys.
boys, yeah.
Yeah. But like maybe they're vampire werewolves. Maybe that's the thing.
Maybe that is the thing.
Right. You know what's up about this game that I want to say?
What?
Is that for whatever reason, I could really visualize like the mayhem inside this movie theater when playing it.
Yeah.
Like a scene in a movie kind of where like a bunch of like monsters show up at the same time and they like pan around the theater and there's like people running out the doors and screaming. And then like you see like a guy like, no. And then like something comes slamming through like the ceiling and crush somebody. And like you see like a guy getting like dragged off and like, like I like the game plays that way. It feels like it because there's all this goofy stuff going on. And it like a big part of the game is scaring people away.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It just, even though like it's just meeples, it was very thematic.
Yeah, and I think you have to enjoy a lot of player interaction in this. because there is a lot of players. There's a lot of takey, that kind of things. You can steal points from people. You can push people around. You can move stuff. Some characters are meaner than other characters because they're so asymmetric. Like, it's kind of the Cosmic Encounter thing where balance is for wusses. And if like you really, there's like another level to this game almost, I think, where once you know the monsters a little better, you know how to maybe counteract them, or you know a monster might be a little better like in a certain setup, so you might have to work together to kind of like screw with that monster a little bit.
Another nice thing about like the way that the game works is there's a ton of interaction, and like where you end up may not be where you start your next turn, and like the situation you have in the room is definitely not going to be the same unless you're like in a corner all by yourself and everybody's on the other side of the board. But you have 3 cards in your hand. They all do pretty good stuff. And so unless you get really hosed, you're just going to be able to take the best thing you can possibly do on your next turn and try to set yourself up for your next turn, kinda, and then hope you draw a cool card that you weren't even expecting. And I don't know. For that reason, I think it's pretty easy to play. And then there's no chance on your turn. Your turn starts, the chips have fallen where they may, then you have full control over what goes on.
And you have to do everything.
Turn.
Like when it says step 3 of your turn is move, you have to move. So you have to like think forward and actually like plan for that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing I can say negatively about it is if you don't like the player interaction or a little bit of take that, the monsters may not be super balanced. Usually the games there's a couple of people pretty close together, maybe a couple of people that kind of got crapped on a little bit. So you might not feel great if you're that person. But
we did sort of have that situation.
But the game is short enough that I think it is not that bad. I mean, it alleviates that. If, in a 2-hour game, yeah, I don't like it. In a 45-minute game, I'm more okay with it. On the pro side, the rule book is really short, easy, and like you can teach the game in like 5 minutes and really get playing. It's like, here's some words you need to know, read your sheet, and let's go. So as far as like asymmetric games go, it's not like a game that's a bear to teach because you have to teach how everyone plays the game differently. Everyone can like take 2 minutes to read their sheet and pretty much understand what's going on, especially after you take your first couple of turns, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was very easy to kind of pick up on. I would say what everybody else does probably doesn't matter as much on your first turn. You might lose a couple points here or there, but like it's not a 2-hour game where this is going to be, make or break. Like it's fun. It's it's not a big deal, and you might walk into a bad room and then all right, that's not going to happen again to me the rest of this game. So it's not a huge deal. It's not like you have to go. It's like with Root, you need to learn everybody else's faction at the same time.
Yeah. And
that's what takes the teach 45 minutes because you have to know exactly what everybody's, because otherwise someone's going to run away with it. I don't think you have to do that here.
Yeah. And the factions, they all the different monsters have either like an easy, intermediate, or advanced thing on the sheet to tell you. If you're a first time player, I need to start recommending to people to just play somebody easy, because I played the game 5 or 6 times and I still I play an advanced character the last time I played before the podcast, and I got stomped because like some of the advanced ones, there's some real finessing you have to do to like play the character well. You can't, like, by the end of the game, I'm like, oh, I know how to play the telephones now, but I didn't know how to play them for the first 4 turns. So then I was totally hosed. So, but the easy, like, Cam played a super easy character.
He was very easy.
And he's like this mean guy that can move people around and adjust things at tons of people.
Yeah.
And he's Bo's favorite character too.
It's cool. He's called Chortland Charlie. Chortland Charles. You put some respect on his name.
That's true.
And yeah, he was basically just like super scary, mean clown. That was even scary to the monsters.
Right? Yeah, you could scare other monsters. So, final thoughts for Spooktacular. For me, I think it's probably like a 2.5 Halloween Boing game for me. Like, it's going to come out every October. And maybe more often than that. Like, it's so short. And like, I haven't even played with all the monsters yet, like in a game. So I want to see what the rest of them, like, we played one game. Bo played these like Wall Street pig dudes that like put tokens on the side of the board and like affected how people scored points. It was bonkers.
You know what? I want to give this game a rating of... I'm pretending I'm thinking about it, but I don't need to think about it. It's a 3 Boing game by a lot for me. It was super fun.
Oh.
Rob wasn't expecting that because I'm not I'm not really a Halloween guy, but like I thought this one was a blast. And like the whole time I was like, oh, that's cool what the characters can do. And even if I didn't like it, like the characters are cool enough that I want to see all of them.
Yeah, I was the chef tonight. And the last time I played, I'm like, I want to be the chef next time. And he was pretty cool. Like I kept like making dishes and putting them out on the thing. And then I'd like I'd pick them back up and then they would do stuff. Like on one turn, I stole like 8 points from people.
Yeah.
It was tight.
So here's the thing. We're going to talk about Terrorscape next. I feel like I didn't get the definitive Terrorscape experience tonight. And so I think my rating for Spooktacular is going to be higher than my Terrorscape rating. However, I didn't get to see the monster side of the board. And I think like the game ended like a little bit earlier than it should have tonight. So take what I say with a grain of salt, but like I feel like I got the definitive Spooktacular experience. And I get it, and it was perfect, and I'm here for it.
Okay.
So there we go.
I had a very bad experience. So for me, I can see where it would be really fun. I played an advanced character that was all over the board. I had like 10 slimes on the board.
Sorry for picking him for you.
It's good.
Actually, I gave you the choice, and then you gave me the clown.
You did. I mean, the goose seemed cool. I didn't realize probably at the time that everybody else could be taking points from people that were in the room with them, and I was in
every room,
50% of the rooms. So
and to be fair, none of us knew that except like possibly Rob, but not even Rob.
Wouldn't have, because he would. Yeah, nobody really knew. So it just it felt like every turn I was getting points taken away, and I had to be in space. So like they would take the points, move out of the room, and I'd be left standing there by myself and not taking points at the beginning of my turn, which was
there.
Yeah, it was fine.
You were left jiggling there.
Yeah, just stuck to the wall like a booger. So I'm gonna say for me it's 2 boings. Right now, I believe if I played again, it would probably be 2.5. So,
all right.
Sweet. It looks like Costume Murder Party or whatever, like kind of reminded me of that when you were putting it out.
It does.
But also, it reminded me of the fun I had playing that game because it's just like a tactical, silly experience that you don't take very seriously and you might not do very good at.
That's very true.
But I like Spooktacular is more of a game, and I think it's a better game.
100%.
By a lot.
And I know they are when I was at Gen Con and talked to, now you're gonna make me say his name wrong.
T-Bird Dalton.
Okay.
D. Brad Talton.
Thank you. I know they're in the works for another Spooktacular game, and I think it's gonna be like a expand-alone, like an expansion kind of thing. But I mean, this game, you just throw more monsters into it. That's all you need.
Right.
And there you go. So I'm all there for that. Tonight on the podcast, we played Terrorscape. It is from Ice Makes Games, designers Jeffrey CC8, and there's a bunch of artists. It is currently 8.2 on Board Game Geek. It came out in 2023. Its overall rank is 826th, and it's 126th thematic. In Terrorscape, you hide and seek, hunt and escape, killer and prey. It is 2 to 4 players, best at 2 or 4. And that is because you always play with all 3 human characters and 1 monster.
Makes sense.
It is 30 to 45 minutes playing time, ages 14 plus. The weight is 2.32 out of 5. Tim, do you want to tell us what we do in Terrorscape?
Sure. In Terrorscape, it's a 1 versus many, right? So
it's a Mario Party 3v1.
Yes. In this one, the many can see the 1, where usually other games like this, the 1 can see the many. So the monster is trying to chase down the humans, doesn't know where the humans are at. Basically, on your turn, if you're the monster, you can play some cards. You can do 2 actions, which are move and search. And your cards let you do a whole bunch of other stuff, but you're basically trying to find the players. And when you search, you attack them. All right. On the human side, you can basically kind of do most of the same things. You got essentially 2 actions. It's not really 2 actions. You can move 1 or 2 spaces, and then you can do a bunch of other special actions, which like you search through a deck. You're trying to find keys. You can repair a phone. You can do a bunch of special actions. There's cards that have special actions that are like items and things like that. At the end of the player's turns, they're going to draw these search cards. They're going to choose one of those. And then during the turn, if they had made noise, they're going to basically put a little signifier token in the section that they made noise to show the monster. And you just go back and forth until either the monster kills somebody, everybody's got 2 hit points, or the humans escape.
Can I hop in there? You said everybody can do 2 actions, but I was under the impression while playing that game that moving is your action.
I said 2 actions. I meant 1 action. You can move 1 to 2 spaces.
Ah.
Yes.
I was like, I didn't get enough actions then.
Well, let's get to the table and come back with our thoughts on
Terrorscape.
Terrorscape came out in 2023. I did not back it. And then I heard how cool this game was. I then backed the reprint and played it at BGG-Con after I'd done so, and I was not disappointed. I was eagerly awaiting this coming because the one at BGG-Con, they took out all the inserts, all the crap, and it was all bagged up, and it was impossible to set up. This new one is very easy to set up and has lots of cool different stuff in it to play, so pleasantly surprised.
I remember you talking about it when you came back and saying it was one of the games that you liked the most. You played it a bunch of times in a small window, didn't you?
Yeah, I played it like twice in a row, which doesn't happen a lot with board games.
All right, Rob, give me the stats. How many maps are there?
With the expansions, there's like 5 maps, I think.
How many characters are there?
I would say maybe 8 to 10.
Tight. And then, how many bad guys are there?
I think there's like 7 or 8.
Whoa. Decent amount of BGs.
Yeah, that's with the base game and then all the expansions. The expansions all basically added a map and a bad guy.
Got it.
And then every map has some different, just like very minor little zhuzh to it that kind of changes things up.
You heard it here, folks. A little bit of zhuzh.
Yeah.
So my first impression of it, I think probably most people's, is the table presence of this game is insane. There's a giant house that sits in the middle that basically blocks the players and the monsters. For me, these games are fine. Some of them hit. I really like Beast, so I'm not usually super pumped about them.
Was Beast the monster hunting one?
Yes,
I like this more than Beast.
Yeah, but Rob likes them, so I like to play with them. And for me, the enjoyment of other people makes my enjoyment higher. So I wasn't super interested in playing this. So if other people wanted to, I kind of let them do it. But my first play, I was pleasantly surprised with how it went.
Speaking exact same thing that Tim said. I mean, I don't think this is a game that anybody who likes board games would walk past and not inquire as to what it is because of the presence that it has, which says a lot about it. That's obviously going to bring a lot of people into it to want to check it out and find more about it. I'm kind of with Tim. This isn't exactly my favorite genre, but in the holiday, it's, if you're definitely looking for a thematic experience, it definitely gives you that.
You guys want to hear, I think, maybe like the truest thing about my personality of all time? I'm like, I like board games, and when I walk by somebody playing a game with a big table presence like this, I always stop by and go like, oh, what's that? And then, I don't even think I register the answer because I really don't care. When I see these huge games, and I'm like, that looks cool, and I'm happy that people are playing games that look like that. They're just not like the games that grasp, make me go like, whoa. But I walk by and see somebody fiddling with a bunch of dials, and then I'm really keyed in when I hear. But to Jake's point, even me who doesn't care about these kind of games goes like, hey, what's that game with the big house? And then Rob would be like, oh, it's Terrorscape, and I'd be like, no, that's cool. Me too.
All right, let's get into the pros of Terrorscape.
I feel that in my bones.
Biggest pro for me is, for the type of game it is, one versus many, hidden movement type stuff, there's very few games that capture the essence of that in this time frame, or the ease of play.
Yep, I was just going to say.
If you look at how big this is, you're like, oh my gosh, this is probably complex. The rule set for this is fairly simple. And if you have someone that knows the monster and at least one human that knows what's going on, you can just start playing. Because that person can walk people through kind of what you can do, because the humans can all talk and collaborate together, right?
That's exactly how my first game went. I just sat down and we started playing. And that's not usually my favorite way to learn games, but it was not an issue at all for this one because it's just straightforward enough. So I just completely agree with Rob. The length of time and the accessibility of this really separate it from a lot of the other games that I guess would hit the same notes.
And the rule books are really good. There's an actual rule book, and then there is a killer's guide and a survivor's guide. And when you're starting to set up, you can just be like, hey, here's the survivor's guide. And they can just do all the survivor stuff and you can do all the killer stuff. And you'd be like, okay, we're done. And then if you want to know how you play the survivor, you can just look through that stuff. So they have it split, and everything is one book, and then they split it kind of half and half.
I also like it that if you are the humans or the group that's playing against the one, there are multiple ways to win. I think if it was always the same outcome that you had to do this to win, that probably wouldn't lend itself to a lot of longevity, but you can kind of zig when you get, different things dealt to you, and, that kind of adds to the deception of what you're trying to do. So I think that's a really interesting component to this as well.
Yeah, my biggest pro for this, we're talking about pros right now, right? My biggest pro for this is the humans are hidden, or like the non-monsters. Like, that is very rare. Usually it's the monster that's hidden the human to try and track them down.
Yep, they flipped it on its head.
But it makes more sense thematically.
Correct.
For like a slasher type thing.
Yep. I think in Beast it makes sense that you're tracking down a monster.
Yes.
Like, across a bunch of cities and that kind of thing. For this one, I adore that this is how it is. I think it's wonderful.
Yeah, it's really cool. And it makes it easier for people to like hop in and play.
Right.
Because like it just puts more work on the person who already knows the game playing the monster.
Yeah, the deduction is all the monster.
Yeah, and the game ends up in so many cinematic moments too. Like one of the games I played earlier today, I found out where someone was. I injured them. They moved away. I upgraded my guy, so when the killer runs out of their deck, they get stronger. And so I did that, and the ability I got when I became stronger was I could throw some barricades up on some doors, and I just barricaded the room that I thought they went into. And then on my next turn, nobody made noise, nobody did anything, and then I did a sense action, which let me know if someone was in one of two rooms, and they said yes. And so I just burst through the door that I put the thing up, and I attacked there, and I killed them. The turn before the cops came.
That's tight.
Like, it was just awesome. Like, the whole thing. Like, there were so many times today where I thought I had lost, and then I won at the very end. Or I've been on the other side of it too, where like we're at the door, and I'm like, I think we're gonna get out, and then we get murked.
Sometimes you get murked. Got to get murked sometimes.
Trying to mess with the killer's head, with the humans, is a really fun thing too.
How often have you seen the humans get out?
I think before today, more often than not.
Okay.
I think it can be fairly balanced. It's depending on, there's a bunch of characters and then there's a bunch of killers, and the killers play so differently. I think you played the werewolf, and I think the werewolf is one of the stronger killers, which you can tell they are because they give the heroes or the survivors all these really sick silver weapons. But like, the werewolf was crazy because you didn't even have any like main action cards.
No.
All your cards were like the instant fast ones. It's like you're just zipping around the board slashing stuff.
Yeah, I could move basically across the entire board, which I had no idea where they were at most of the time, it felt like. So moving across the board was quite nice. It was not a slow process for me. So that was awesome.
I really like the fear mechanism too, because it kind of helps know, especially if you fear in certain places, it gives you an idea of where they are, but also it makes them less likely to beat you in a roll. And having the dice tower in the house in the middle, I don't know, that's just cool too.
Especially, Rob's got a 3D printed house in the middle too, which just adds a whole other layer. I can't even imagine playing this game when that's painted and seeing like an actual, 3D mansion in front of you. That would, again, just add even more to the aesthetic and experiencing what you're playing.
Dude, if I saw that at a board game convention, I would roll up and be like, yo, that house looks awesome. What game is that? And they'd be like, oh, it's Terrorscape. But I painted the house, and I'd be like, on the other side of the room. I'm joking. Honestly, talking about this game is getting me more excited to play it again, because like I kind of want to see those things happen.
Here's my biggest pro for the game. I would play this game 4 times in a row. Like, it's short enough that like, if you had 4 people, you could just play it, rotate who the killer is, play again. You could swap out the killer. You could swap out people. Like, it's not hard to reset.
And then whoever had the most points, they could go 1-on-1.
A game literally can be over, though, like in 5 minutes. Or, like, the longest I think a game could possibly go is maybe an hour. Depending, like, my teaching game for people that had never seen it before and were, like, maybe a little newer to games today took about an hour. There's a lot of deliberation, so that was, like, on the long end. And, like, an hour is still a short, I say short, but...
It's short for this genre of game.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, most games, Halloween is the only other game of this type that I think fits in this time period, like the level of it. But it's not as interesting as this, I don't think.
I'd agree with that. Who's got other pros?
I really liked that the killer doesn't have access to knowing like what like if the human players have the opportunity to do like the side exit or not, but they know if they have the keys. So they don't know, like, if the players are, like, sneaky, they, like, all the keys could be there and the monster, like, rushes to catch them, but they might, like, go the wrong way. I also like that there's, like, that side way to do it, that if you draw all those weird cards, then all of a sudden it becomes viable, but it seems like a really bad idea at the beginning. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. That got more exciting to me as it went on.
Have we talked about the noise mechanism at all?
I talked about it a little bit on
Because I think that's pretty cool, too, where, like, when you draw cards, you have a chance to make noise. When you pair the radio, you definitely make noise. But trying to, like, gauge when I should risk trying to make noise against not is kind of an interesting thing. Because, like, and you're not entirely sure if they could get to you in a single turn on, unless you know their deck exactly and, like, I don't know. It's hard to gauge. But I think the noise thing's cool. And they just, at the end of the turn, they say all the places they made noise. But then there's cards that mess with noise too. Like you could throw a whiskey bottle and make noise, or there's like firecrackers or something that just like make the whole house blow up with noise, which I didn't see that happen once today, which was weird. Cause I know that card's in there.
We didn't get it. Other pros? All right, how about cons? I could start. So my first game, we got murked like right out of the gate. It probably lasted 10 minutes. If that's something that you wouldn't want to just rewind the thing and play again, which is what we did, right? I played this game 3 times in one day, which I guess for me is a lot of one game. It could definitely be off-putting, right? Like there is a chance that the game is over within 10 minutes with the monster winning. Players can't win in 10 minutes, probably.
But if you like roguelikes, that feels good. Yeah. It's like, oh, I got squished.
I mean, that also happened to us in Core Discovery that one time. And we
It
just
also happened to us in the Voynich puzzle.
Yeah, we were like,
Stay tuned next time for that horror story.
That's my biggest probably con is that it could definitely be.
But on the upside, it took 2 minutes to re-rack it and just try it again.
Yeah.
You know, kind of similar on that note. I think that as humans, you don't feel like you have a lot of agency in some cases. You really easily can get in a position where there's just not a lot of ways out of the circumstance you get in. So I think it's probably a more fun experience from the monster, which is the smaller side. So I don't think that's a major thing, but there's not a ton that humans can do. And if you get stuck and don't have stuff, you're just kind of like, okay, what do I do?
Yeah, I mean, I had a lot of fun. Like we took Rob up to the absolute, like, had one of the players gone right instead of left, we would absolutely have won that game. And he went left, and then Rob barricaded him in. All right, so like it was very tense and very fun. And they were like, I played a lot of games against Rob where he is the monster, so I do pretty good at predicting where he goes. So like there is a lot of stuff where I like to thought on the player side where you can, I don't know, juke. It's hard when you're the monster. It's very hard to know where the players are at. It's very hard.
It is.
Yeah.
I keep telling you guys how to trick Rob. You just tell him he always does this one thing.
And this is one thing too. Like I like playing the humans in this too, and I like the fact that it said best at 2 and 4. Like I could see this being fun, just playing this 2 players and somebody controlling all 3 characters. That would give the humans like more to do too. But it's definitely like a very cooperative, cohesive experience as the humans or the survivors, because I mean you have to like decide exactly like what to do and like kind of agree on a plan of action. And I think hammering on getting keys or fixing the radio, you kind of got to pick one. And the radio seems kind of like you got to be opportunistic with that. You got to have like maybe items to do it, or if the monster's around the radio, you probably don't want to do it.
If you're playing the werewolf, you just can't do it because he can get all the way across the thing in one turn.
That's true.
That's true too.
It was tight.
But that was like your whole thing, right? Like just going.
I had literally nothing else I could do besides move very far and sense in certain areas.
I mean, I have another, like, because we have the expansions and things, like, I would say if you had just the base game of this, I feel like maybe it would get a little stale because you only have like 3 monsters and all the things. Also, a con is you just can't get this game. Like, you can kickstart it, and that's pretty much it. Or like find it maybe on the secondary market.
there's going to be a Terrorscape 2.
Yeah, and I think maybe the base game hits a little bit of retail, but then it's gone. Like, it's not a lot. It's not a big printing.
So there's going to be a Spooktacular 2 and a Terrorscape 2?
I've already backed Terrorscape 2.
Hey, so there we go.
It is going to be fully compatible with Terrorscape 1. And it actually has, like, interchangeable, like, which I don't care about. I printed the mansion, but, like, you can change the faces of the mansion. It's, like, magnetic or something.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know. I'm just in it for more maps and more monsters. And there's, like, more ways for, like, the survivors to win. And there's, like, more scenarios and things. And it's all going to be fully compatible.
So you would say, just in general, we're going to give a rating here. It's hard to get this game. Probably just kick that rating over to the other game. It's very similar.
You can back. The people I played with earlier wanted to play it because they backed Terrorscape 2 and Terrorscape 1 in this expansion, which would not be a cheap endeavor if you wanted everything. But as they said, there was stretch pay. So there you go. And it's expensive. Like, the game is expensive, especially if you get the full-blown deluxe or bust version. There is that as well.
It's $250,000.
I will sell it for that. Let's go.
Okay, you guys hear it? You guys heard it right now. Rob says it's a sell. Rob's final ranking? Sell.
For
sell
$250
pile.
million? Yes.
All I heard was that you would sell it.
All right, other cons.
I didn't really have any cons from this game. Like, okay, so I don't think I had the quintessential Terrorscape experience tonight. Like, our game was a little bit, I think, just like waylaid by not a lot of action. Like, it was like we were just kind of like sneaking around.
On my side, it felt constantly like I had no idea where you guys were at, and I was chasing my tail the whole time.
Hiding.
Okay. Yeah,
but like we weren't making a lot of progress either, and so it was just kind of stale.
I had no vision on how much.
And then all of a sudden. All of a sudden, we got like a little bit closer, and then like I was trying to get you to chase me, but you never did.
Game had a trap waiting for you.
I had a trap waiting for you, so I was trying to trap you. But like, I think I was able to see by the end of the game how it could be really fun most times, and it wasn't very long, and I wasn't like bored when we were playing it. So I don't know. I don't really have anything negative to say about the game, other than that. Like Tim said, I think it's probably just more fun most of the time when you're the monster. But that's like a lot of these. That's a lot of these games like this. And you know what? This one's short. Like, play Fury of Dracula, bro. And also, like, I don't know if it's very fun to be any of those characters in Fury. There's a lot of waiting in Fury of Dracula. Hey, speaking of Fury of Dracula, remember that one time I sniped you so good, Rob? We didn't even win the game. But here's just a quick story for those of you guys who haven't listened to our Fury of Dracula Halloween episode from like 4 or 5 years ago. We're sitting playing, and Rob is Dracula. And in the game Fury of Dracula, that's the hidden mover. And you have like Keanu Reeves and who else is in the Dracula movie?
I don't remember.
Who's in that one, the 90s Dracula movie?
Gary Oldman's Dracula. Yeah,
Gary Oldman. Anyway, so we're trying to catch him. And there's like this, Rob goes like north, and we know he's like in that part of the world, but we don't know where he is. And I just get a gut feeling that Rob is going to like go to the top of the map. And so I start talking to Josh Ladd about, hey, I think he could be here or here or here. And Rob's like sitting there looking all smug, and I'm just tracking that he's like, he has no idea where I am. And then as soon as Rob like locks in or whatever, as soon as we have to make our choice and you're locked in, I go, Josh, all of that was just fake. He's right here. And Rob's was just like,
yeah, you can go back and listen to our Fury of Dracula episode.
But Rob won.
Entirely story. Did I? I don't remember.
You did. You won. So it was late enough, like you ran away and you were almost dead, and you went out onto sea and you barely survived because like the fear tracker was like moving or something. Whatever the doomsday clock is, you were able to wait it out with like one heart left on the open sea.
I am going to go into final thoughts now, if you guys are cool with that. I do want to talk about a couple things before you guys give final thoughts. Maybe you can have an idea about this. There's like 3 variants that I've never played with, okay? One is trait cards and survivor difficulty levels. Basically, you just give the survivors cards, and it's extra stuff for them to do. So if you think the killer's always winning, you can juice a different side to kind of make one side better, okay? There is one called Separate Ways that turns it into instead of a team game, survivors can win independently of one another.
Okay.
Which, that sounds kind of interesting to me.
So if one of them dies, you continue playing. So in this, I don't know if we really said it,
I don't know. I'm not going to read this whole page right now.
but the monster only has to kill one of the 3 humans. So it might be interesting in the game if you kill somebody.
When you kill someone, the game does not end and the killer just gets a level.
Okay.
Then there's survival plan. It gives the survivors side missions, and if they finish the plan, they get new abilities, and they even could they could just straight up murk the killer. So I would like to like pump those out sometime. That'd be kind of cool to try those out. I haven't played it like with the same people enough to be like, let's try some of these variants. So anyway, they're all, the other cool part is it's not like, oh, here's this variant that has like 10 pages of rules or something. They're all like really small little things you could just flip in there. I really like Terrorscape. I could play this, I think, with anybody.
What's our scale for rating episodes?
Oh, sorry. Thank you. This is the Board Boys podcast. We have a 0 to 3 Boing rating scale. 3 being the best, 0 being the worst. One time only, you can give your 4 Boing game.
Only Tim. Is this the one? No.
That's true.
We'll find out.
Don't
Don't steal his thunder.
Half Boings are allowed. And a 3 Boing game of Terrorscape is probably the game I played earlier where I killed Tim and I got the double gun middle finger after beating him.
He did get that.
That felt real good.
He did.
And the 0 Boing game was probably when I killed him in 2 minutes.
He also got the double gun middle finger there too.
So middle fingers all around.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's the rude and crude side of the table right there.
Which is what makes this game real good.
Yeah,
Jake and I are the polite
game
side.
that gives
Isn't
that,
that right?
like, evokes that kind of emotion, though, Campbell.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
You guys know my theory on the emotion in board games.
Right? So for me, Terrorscape is a game I can play with anybody. I have played it like 4 times today. Every time I played it, I think I played it more than once in a row. I like playing both sides. The teach is really easy. I can get to the table. I'm sorry, Civolution. This is my new 4 Boing game. Cam, I know you're gonna like downrate this.
That's like a 3.1.
Like,
it's like a 3.85.
I will play this game 100 times more than I will ever play Civolution. It is my favorite type of game, and it is by far my favorite version of this game. As far as one versus many goes.
We need a quorum. Are we allowing this?
I allow it, but I think you should take a surrender charge.
I should have, when I redid the Civolution episode and reposted it, I should have edited out my 4 Boing.
You know what, though?
And you edited it out by just like blipping out what you said.
Yeah.
Like just
I give this game Boings.
Yeah, just it's a half second.
I'm sorry,
blank
like
space.
I absolutely love this game. It's my core like root. Like I'm a big Euro guy now, but at my core, this is my favorite type of game, and I love it very much.
Is Civolution still 3 for you?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
Oh,
I'm having a hard time getting Civolution to the table, so I get it.
It's just like I will play this game a ton. Like I 3D printed this freaking mansion.
That took a week.
Yeah, and like I'm probably gonna pay somebody to paint it because I'm really bad at painting.
It's probably only a 7% surrender charge in year 1.
And
so.
I've already backed the second one of this. It's just gonna add more stuff to it. So it's probably gonna be my most expensive game.
Is it your War of the Ring bonkers? No, you didn't get the War of the Ring that you wanted to have for War of the Ring.
I might have done that too. TBD. Anyway, I'm sorry guys for breaking the Boing scale. I promise not to do it again.
I think this just
soon.
means Tim gets a 5 Boing.
Ooh, a 5 Boing.
Well, I think that means that all of the rest of our Boings are more valuable. So now Civolution for me is a 4.1, but if I change it, then it goes back down to a 4.
Okay, I gave Agricola 4 Boings years ago. Is that like a 4.4 now? 4.5?
Well, Agricola was your favorite game before you gave it a 4 Boing.
So
and
you're
it's
saying
still your favorite game.
saying Boings appreciate in value?
Yeah.
I think Jake
These are
has.
fermented leaves, fermented 4s.
Fermented 4s.
They grow.
I think Jake's 4 Boing is probably the biggest Boing at this point. He's got the biggest Boings of them all.
And I can't think of a game also that I've been more excited to see arrive at my house.
No, this
and it didn't disappoint.
That makes complete sense for you. I understand why you would give it that.
This game is infinitely better than Civolution. Like infinitely better.
You don't like
Hey, now.
Phil. Quit it.
Hey now.
Okay, Campbell, go.
Yeah, I had a fun time. I can't really rate it very well based on the game I played of it today, but I have a sneaking suspicion that I would 2.5 it long term. I mean, this isn't really like my jam, but it could be.
So what are you officially giving it?
A 2.5. Maybe it's a 3, but I need to play it more.
For me, again, everything I said earlier, I think if you want a thematic experience, if you want a social experience, this is a slam dunk for you. All of you know, though, that those are not Jake's things. So I'm going to give it a 2, though. It's fun. It's short. If this was twice as long, I wouldn't want to play this game. But because it's short and accessible, you can come back to it much faster.
100%.
So
that's 100%. Yeah. If it was 2 hours and the rules teach was 45 minutes, this game would be not nearly as good. Yeah.
I'd still probably love it, but it wouldn't be as good.
Yeah.
It would be more in line with all the rest of them.
Correct. Yeah. I really like this game. It was very fun. It was fun to get to play the monster today. I played it 3 times today. That is a lot for one game. It is infinitely better than Civolution. I like it better than Beast, and I really like Beast too. I think I'm going to give it a 3. You guys talked to me, you give it a 3. It was fun. I don't mind getting killed right out of the gate. I don't know. The thematic stuff was cool. Like, I would say if I'm going to play a hidden movement game, this ranks up there with one of 2 that maybe would come out.
So, philosophical question, Tim.
Yeah.
When you do your ratings then, because this is not your wheelhouse of a game.
Correct.
So this is a 3 in the guise of this genre. So
yes.
You separate all of your boings based on what the game is for itself, as opposed to a ranking of all games and where it falls on the boing scale.
Probably a little bit of that, and I would say how much fun I have playing the game.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, I guess for me, I just keep everything on the same scale. I know that's weird in the fact that it's hard to compare like a party game for this, but like for me, it's just this type of game isn't going to scratch the itch that I like from playing board games. Like I can enjoy the experience, but like it's not going to be like, I don't know, it doesn't feel the same. So I think I make everything be not, my line is not variable. It's static.
I get you. I'm the same way.
Yeah.
It's all about how much I enjoy it, but I think like any game is just going to have a leg up when I'm cool with re-racking it and playing it immediately again. And I've done that a lot with this. And I know like Tim doesn't do that.
No, I don't do it very much.
I don't ever do that either. Yeah.
Yeah. And like your wife liked it too.
My wife liked it. Yeah.
And she's not a huge board
She's talking
gamer.
about it. She talked to her friend. Like, so my wife came and played it. She's part of Pottery Studio. She went to the Pottery Studio, talked to someone there. They want to come play it and buy. This game is very fun. I would put it in the, like, we played Duck and Cover today, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not going to compare this to Duck and Cover, but Duck and Cover is a party game, and I would say that is 100% a 3-1 game.
Yeah.
Like, it is
Duck
fun.
and Cover rips.
Yeah, it takes 15. Like, so for me, it's very hard to say, like, compare across these genres, right? And when you have a genre that maybe doesn't have as much really good competition, it's hard to say, Euro games, there are so many amazing games. I would say hidden movement games, there's probably not a lot that are just like amazing games.
Right.
This
is definitely S tier.
This is S tier, yeah, for sure.
I was working in my lab late one night when my eyes beheld a eerie sight. For the board game on my slab began to rise, and suddenly, to my surprise, he did the bump. He did the bumper dump.
Bump.
Yeah, the board boys bump. It was a graveyard dump.
The board boys bump.
Those board games bumped and dumped. Come on,
They
guys.
did the bump.
They did the board boys bump. Wow. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. All right, we are doing this segment a little later here at Dungeons Gate. We just actually played Inferno again because Jake and I really wanted to play it before we give our look back because it had been a hot minute. Inferno was an 8.4 originally for 4,857.
It was an 8.4 when we played it.
I mean, it was brand new.
That's true, but that's really high.
Super high. Yeah, we should put the number of reviews on there at that point. But
Yeah.
4.
Anyway, it is now a 7.9.
That's still really high.
Yeah.
It's obviously a bump.
Yeah, it's a huge bump. 1,329. And like, that's pretty good seeing as how like, I feel like it's not really even in retail, really.
That's what I was going to say. Like,
Or it hasn't
I've never
really-
seen this.
It
game in
hasn't
a store.
really hit hard yet. It's still put through like Grand Gamers Guild, and I don't think they put that like majorly into distribution. I see it like at their booth at cons and stuff, but like I've never seen it sitting on the shelf at Dungeons Gate.
I
Nope,
wonder
me
if that
neither.
artificially bumps for games when they don't go retail, because then you're getting a much more like
quote unquote core gamer aspect of it.
But something in the ratio is the number of people that do it, though, right? Because there's some games that are like in the top 200 that are like a 7.3.
Yeah, until it has a certain number of ratings. BGG has some secret sauce behind the scenes that they don't let anybody know what it is, so people can't game the stuff as much. I don't think.
Okay.
So they have some kind of algorithm. Anyway, you just heard Board Boy Joe.
Heyo.
He's joining us because he just also played Inferno. You probably heard him earlier in the episode, catcalling us in the background.
I don't know what you're talking about.
While he was playing,
that was everybody at the con.
Bomb Busters. While we were recording the Terrorscape portion of the episode. Let's talk about Inferno. I still really like it. It was amazing for how long I hadn't played it. I've been meaning to get it back to the table for a long time. Even though, I was like, Jake, I don't remember how to play this. And then he handed me the player aid. I'm like, oh yeah, I think I can just remember how to play this now. The thing has a great player aid. And what is my number one thing in board games?
Theme.
That's me.
Okay, my number two thing in board
Wombo
games.
combos. Tracks.
It is being able to relearn the game from the board or teach the game from the board or like a handout.
Ability to buy additional components for the game that you already ordered.
All those 3D printing stuff. I just like board games, okay?
I agree. It's super unique. I still, if we're going back to a year ago, my thoughts on it, I thought that theme-wise, it still doesn't make a ton of sense if you really think about what's happening, but let's just pretend that doesn't exist for a second. I think just the way that you are kind of constrained in what your action choices are is super interesting about this game. And there's some nice variability in how you're scoring fraud cards and where the locations are. So what action is getting paired up with what action. But it's really interesting. I still don't think I love the way the game scores personally, but it is a lot of fun and it's very unique. So I think it'll be something that I keep and break out every now and then.
Yeah, it was my first play tonight. This was a good game. It certainly has unique game mechanics in it. It's something that you don't see every day. The theme was themey enough.
Yeah, I think the theme's there personally.
Okay, yeah. The theme, it just doesn't make any sense.
It does.
No, it doesn't.
What doesn't make sense? You got to pay the money to get across the river.
Okay, all of those, what is actually happening in the game makes no sense.
You got to send them down to the levels of hell.
Yeah, that they're supposed to.
You're turning in you're turning in people and being like, "Oh, you were naughty."
Sure, those, but nothing. None of that has anything to do with what you're actually doing. Who are we in this game?
God.
We're families in whatever town this is.
But how are we moving people through layers of hell? Once they're at the gate. That's the type.
What's it called?
By the decisions we make in Florence, we clearly directly influence the effects of hell.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, I'm
what is the action called when accuse? Right?
Sure.
You're accusing people.
I totally am with you in regards to who gets to the gates and who dies.
Yeah.
I'm with you. The rest of it makes no sense.
Well, I mean, you got to make a game somehow.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I think you're making a very strong point here. That's why I said the theme is enough.
I think they play Leapfrog in hell, personally.
You get to skip this sin to go to this one.
Think of how many people would hate playing Leapfrog that are in hell.
Right?
Are you saying
presumably everybody would?
Okay.
Are you going on the record right now and saying you think Hitler was a big fan of Leapfrog?
I think doing that would have to acknowledge the existence of hell.
All right, that's a compelling argument.
I guess I'm there with Joe. The theme
here.
that is enough for me to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it gives it a nice flair, and it certainly brings attention to what it is. Just don't think about it too deeply.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That's how I approach most things in life. So, it's still a 2 for you.
I think it's between a 2 and a 2.5, and I think I'm going to still leave it at a 2 though.
It might have dropped. I had it at a 3. It's probably more like a 2.5. Everyone else had it at 2.5. So
yeah,
2.5s across the board for Inferno. Joe.
Okay, so here's the thing. We're coming back right off the con. And
lightweight.
If I had played this on any given normal week, I would probably be right there with a 2. But just for tonight, I'm kind of shot. This is coming in at a firm 1.5.
That's fine.
Yep.
I think that we also played with maybe 2 more. I hadn't really thought about it, but 2 of the more unfriendly monsters as far as messing with you.
I mean, there are ones that just benefit you.
And
instead of hurting.
The other player, Ben, he thought the game was a little bit mean, and I've never really thought of it too much like that. But I felt it more mean at 2 players, where it was but that's what 2-player games are in
Yep.
general. Like
Yep.
Mhm.
you are diametrically opposed from someone else and generally messing with them. And if you're not planning the right way, you can have to take loans a bunch of times.
Yep.
Way less than a 4-player game. I mean, the two people that have played the game before took the most loans in this game.
Yep.
We still did the best too, though. So
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I get the concept of it's a little mean, but like most of the game, it was just because I'm kind of fried. It was much more me like I just need to wrap my head around it than it was like, oh, the mechanics of the game are mean, or like I'm having trouble figuring this out or scoring. It was me figuring out the game.
the moving the meeples is the really big part, and that's like the most fun part of the game.
Yeah, it is.
I just think this game is just not super accessible for new players.
No.
Because the accusing phase is incredibly important, and it's not super easy to understand right off the bat. And once you've kind of walked people through it a couple times, then it gets better. But there's also then that disconnect between how do you actually score a lot of your points, and it's not super friendly for new players. So know that going in.
Super fits theme. If you're going to be God, it takes more than one day for you to figure out how you're supposed to drop everybody into different layers of hell.
All right, well, Christopher Boat says, I only played it the once. I remember really enjoying the main board movement and interaction. It's been a while, but I recall an action with the player board being very clunky and unintuitive. That's probably the accusing,
definitely.
which is a huge part of the game. I liked it enough to buy a copy, but haven't played it since. Pretty sure it's at least 2 boings and could go up with more familiarity. And Braden Dowdy says, I was really excited for this one, followed swiftly by disappointment. I loved the soul portion of the game, but the action spots and player board fell flat for me. I agree with Chris, it felt clunky and unintuitive, played a couple of times and sold my copy. 1.5 boingaroos. I mean, I get that.
Yep, I
For
get it too.
sure. It is definitely going to stay on my shelf, I think, though.
It's beautiful. Like the components are super nice.
Yeah,
the miniatures, the mat.
And there is an expansion coming out, which I know almost nothing about. Will I get it? Probably.
Yes.
But probably, I don't know.
I think
Maybe.
like 2 episodes ago you were like, I think I'm done with expansions.
I know. I'm done for expansions that they just keep putting more Like, one good expansion for a game is cool, but like Nucleum is killing me right now with the amount of extra stuff for that.
All right, I know we're at the end, but I just got to bring it up. So, a big game for all of us is Twilight Imperium 4th Edition. Well, for everybody except Rob. There's a new expansion coming out, Thunder's Edge. And honestly, that is one of my biggest concerns about this expansion, is that it's trying to be too much to everybody, and it's going to lose some of the TI-ness of it. Now, it's not out yet. We saw a little bit of a demo preview at Capital City Game Con, but like remains to be seen, because that is a legitimate concern of mine with games as well, that like, you know, I don't need every game to be every single game that I'll ever want to play. I need a game to be its unique self, and I can buy more than one game.
There you go. All right. Well, thanks for listening to another episode of the Board Boys podcast, season 17, episode 7. I'm going to try that again. Terrorscape and Spooktacular. I'd like to thank our patrons now: BJ from Board Game Gumbo, Timothy Crisco, Shifty Teeth, Jordan Smith, Andre Bosch, Braden Dowdy, Rob Cooper, Richard Lane, Matt Kelly, Portland Gamecraft, Terry Ward, and Jeremy Thoman. And thanks a lot for Matt Kelly for really, because he's one of the people that runs the Capital City Gaming Con, and they were great. They had a spot on the bingo card where Bo had to give a high five to people, and I think he gave over 200 high fives.
It was awesome.
So he really liked that. If you would also like to be a patron, you can go to theboardboys.com and click the Patreon button there, or you can click our Discord button on the website and come talk with us. We had some new Discord members after the con, so that was cool. This is the first time we kind of had a booth, in quotation marks, basically a table where we were selling some shirts and hats and playing games. So it was really fun. People walked over and talked with us, and hopefully we can do that more in the future. Until next time, we hope you like board games.
Boing, boing, boing.
player's turn.
Can I stop the podcast and say that like somebody in this room aimed to fart at our table?
It was probably Claudia. So
don't say that. That's said about your wife.
She is facing you with.
I think somebody like bazookaed it from all the way on the other side of like the far room over there.
Cool. And then on the human's turn, or on the human side,
like I'm absolutely right? Jake's laughing because
I can't smell it.
Sorry.
I can't. No, you're good. You're good.